Imagine waking up, scrolling through your feed, and seeing someone you went to school with, or someone who started their journey at the exact same time as you, suddenly announcing a massive win. Maybe they just cleared 6 figures, moved into a dream office, or hit 1 million followers, while you are sitting in the same chair, staring at the same stagnant numbers, wondering where you went wrong. It feels like a punch to the gut. It's that visceral, burning frustration of feeling like you're running a race on a treadmill while everyone else is on a high-speed rail. You've been disciplined, you've put in the hours, and you've followed the rules, yet they seem to have achieved in 6 months what you've been chasing for 3 years. This isn't just jealousy. It's a psychological crisis that makes you question your own potential. But what if I told you that what you're witnessing isn't a quantum leap or a stroke of luck? What if the reason they are gaining ground while you feel stuck has nothing to do with talent and everything to do with a psychological law most people ignore? Today, we are dismantling the illusion of the overnight success and looking at the mechanics of silent momentum God to understand why they are rising while you are struggling. We have to look at the iceberg effect. In our digital culture, we only see the 10% of the iceberg that sits above the water, the trophy, the viral post, the big payout. We are completely blind to the 90% submerged beneath the surface. This is the invisible preparation phase. Most people think that success is a linear climb, but in reality, it is a lagging indicator of years of quiet, unrewarded work. Think about a photo being developed in a dark room. For a long time, the paper looks blank. You're pouring chemicals on it, you're agitated, and you're waiting, but nothing is showing up. If you turned on the lights halfway through because you were frustrated, you would ruin the entire process. Most of you are currently in that dark room. You aren't failing. You are developing. Your blank paper phase is the mechanical necessity of the final image. Consider the biology of the Chinese bamboo tree. For 4 years, you water it and weed the soil, and you see absolutely nothing. Not a single green shoot breaks the surface. From the outside, it looks like you're a fool watering a patch of dirt. But in the 5th year, that tree grows 80 feet in just 6 weeks. The question is, did it grow 80 feet in 6 weeks or 80 feet in 5 years? If at any point during those 4 years the farmer had stopped watering it, the tree would have died in the ground. Right now, you are growing your root system. The person you see rising fast is simply in their 5th year, while you might be in your 2nd. The U.S. market especially rewards those who can survive the boredom of the beginning. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, the person who can treat their invisible phase with the same respect as their victory phase is the one who becomes unfazed by the competition. You have to stop viewing your current struggle as a sign of stagnation and start viewing it as a silent accumulation of power. The ground is moving beneath you, even if you can't feel the tremors yet. We are going to dive deep into how you can stop overdrawing your psychological bank account and start stacking the kind of discipline that makes success mathematically inevitable. When we talk about karma in the context of high performance, we aren't just talking about a spiritual concept. We are talking about the cold, hard math. of compounding. Think of your energy, your focus, and your daily habits as a psychological bank account. Every time you show up when you don't want to, every time you choose the deep work over the cheap dopamine of a scrolling session, you are making a deposit. Most people fail because they are constantly overdrawing their account. They do 1 week of solid work and immediately look for the payout. When the payout doesn't arrive by Friday, they feel cheated, they get frustrated, and they stop depositing. But the silent successes you see rising fast, they have spent years stacking deposits without ever checking the balance. They understand that discipline isn't about the grand, heroic gestures that look good on a highlight reel. It's about the $1 percent dollar gains that most people are simply too bored to maintain. In the U.S. market, where hustle culture often glorifies the burnout, the real winners are the ones who have mastered the boredom of consistency. They aren't doing anything magical. They've just done the boring stuff for 1,000 days. Longer than you have. This brings us to the shortcut trap. We live in an era of growth hacks, secret blueprints, and viral shortcuts. These are the sirens calling out to you while you're in your struggle phase. It is incredibly tempting to look at a growth hacker who burns bright for 6 months and try to copy their blueprint. But there is a massive difference between a flash in the pan and a legacy builder. The person who hacks their way to the top has no foundation. They are building a skyscraper on a swamp. When the algorithm shifts, when the market dips, or when a stronger competitor arrives, they collapse because they never built the psychological muscle that comes from the slow, grinding struggle. They have the trophy, but they don't have the character required to keep it. This is short-term karma, a quick hit of success, followed by an inevitable crash. True success is a legacy play. It's the law of cause and effect in its purest form. If your input is superior, if your craft is sharper, your discipline is deeper, and your integrity is higher, your output is mathematically guaranteed. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. The frustration you feel right now is actually the weight of the foundation you are pouring. You are building on bedrock. While the fast risers are celebrating their quick wins, you are reinforcing your structure so that when your year 5 finally arrives, you won't just hit the top, you'll stay there. You have to stop looking for the hack and start looking for the weight. The heavier the responsibility you can carry now, the more karma or compounded success you will be able to handle later. We often fall into the trap of thinking that life is unfair because the wrong people seem to be winning. But if you look closer, those quick wins are often empty. They lack the silent momentum that comes from being forged in the fire of anonymity. In the next section, we are going to talk about how to stop the comparison trap from poisoning your progress and how to enter your secret season. The tactical phase, where you stop talking and start becoming a force of nature. The most dangerous thing you can do right now is compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. When you do this, you aren't just feeling jealous. You are committing psychological self-sabotage. You are judging your incubation period by the standards of someone else's harvest season. In the U.S. high-performance landscape, we talk a lot about bio-individual timelines. This is the reality that every massive success has a different gestation period. A fruit fly is born and dies in days. An elephant takes nearly 2 years just to be born. If you are building something massive, a legacy, a business, a brand that lasts, it is going to take longer to birth than a cheap viral trend. Stop looking at the person next to you and start looking at the craft in front of you. Their timeline is irrelevant to your trajectory. This is where you enter your secret season. There is massive, untapped power in being underestimated. While everyone else is busy announcing their goals, posting their day in the life, and seeking premature validation for work they haven't even finished yet, you need to go dark. This is what we call shadow work. You stack invisible wins that nobody sees. You sharpen your skills in the middle of the night. You build your systems when no one is watching. There is a psychological phenomenon where announcing your goals releases the same dopamine as actually achieving them, which robs you of the hunger needed to do the work. By staying silent, you trap that energy. You let it build up like steam in a pressure cooker. When you finally emerge, your success won't just be a surprise. It will be an inevitability that shocks everyone who thought you were standing still. The struggle you feel right now isn't a wall. It's the resistance training required to hold the weight of your future. If you rose to the top tomorrow without this struggle, you would crack under the pressure. You are building the success muscle today so you can carry the success load tomorrow. The faster the rise, the thinner the foundation. But you are building deep. You are building into the bedrock. Own your timeline. Respect the dark room. Keep watering the ground. Because when that 5th year hits and you shoot up 80 feet in 6 weeks, the world will call it luck. But you'll know it was the psychology of silent success.